Welcome once again to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. We have a very special guest, and I am very excited, very elated to have this man here. I've been following him for years. Mr. Andre, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? I'm glad that we got a chance to be on this live together. I've been looking forward to this all week, and so I see that because you're doing a lot of work in a positive atmosphere when it comes to men that are traveling, and so I appreciate the fact that you're even bringing that side of travel to light. A lot of dudes, it's always all about the party side, which is cool. But there's also a side for those that are looking to relocate or those that are looking to find real love or just fall in love with the locations that they're going to. So I'm glad that you put this together, your channel. Appreciate it.
So the name of this, before we get started, the name of this podcast is called Dominican Republic versus Colombia. So before we get started, Okay, we're back. We'll do the introduction.
I need to give me an intro like you guys for the live stream. I don't know why I've been slipping all this time.
Yeah, man. Fancy. So brother. So today's topic, we're talking about a Dominican Republic versus Colombia. I'm an expat. Andre is an expat. We're both Americans. I live in Dominican Republic. He live in Colombia. So we're going to be talking about the differences and, from different cultures and what's his perspective and my perspective on my experience here and his experience there. So before we begin, man, let's get a brief storyline of yourself.
All right. I'm actually originally from Detroit, Michigan, by way of Tampa, Florida. I've been living in Tampa. I was living in Tampa for about 14 years. I was married at one point in time for 14 years as a stepdad, and that marriage didn't work out, but we're still cool to this day. But I knew after that I want to start going to the next chapter of my life, so I started traveling and got my passport, started traveling to different countries, and came across Taylor Made's channel, Taylor Made Dream. Shout out to him. And he was talking about DR.
Shout out Taylor Made, right? Show too. He did my first show, as a matter of fact.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did my first YouTube show.
And then we ended up. Came across. I had a lot of friends. A lot of people don't realize in Tampa there's a huge Dominican population. I mean, not Dominican, but Colombian population. And
okay, I didn't know that.
A lot of my friends were Colombian. Oh yeah, there's like a whole area where it's nothing but Colombian restaurants, clubs, bars. And so a lot of my friends that I work with were Colombian. So I would go to Colombian concerts, Colombian dance halls, so I was always around it. So they were like, you need to go, you visit everybody else's country, why don't you visit ours? And once I visit here, I started coming, by way of everybody, the Gateway, Medellin, and then I started traveling to other locations. And I came here to Cali, met my wife here in Cali, and we started off back and forth as just on the friend side, because I'm not one of those guys to start a pseudo relationship knowing I'm living in another country, but I'm pretending like this is my girlfriend over here.
Right.
We just friends. But once we start getting serious, then I started getting serious about, okay, this might be the location where God might have me to be living. And so came over here, got married 2 years ago. We just celebrated our second year anniversary on the 13th of this month.
Hey.
I know, right? 2 years down, 4 years together. I've been living here in Colombia going on four plus years. And so yeah, that's how it's been. I've been all over the country, because I have a truck. So I went on ahead and bought me a truck last year, 2020 Equinox. And so now I get to travel all over the country and all over South America. So I have more experience than just the limited locations that a lot of guys go to.
That is true. So let me ask you this. Were you inspired to go? What inspired you to even Were you considering leaving the country before you met your wife, or once when you met your wife?
Oh yeah. I was always considering. I've always been a traveler. Whether it be I've been on 5 cruises. It's kind of funny. The week before I went to Medellin the first time, I just left the Grand Canyon. So I've always been, I'm in San Francisco. I'm all up in Seattle some dang where. Shout out to B Morph with all the crab cakes and all the Corona you can drink. And so I'm everywhere. I was straight gypsy life ever since I was a kid. The worst thing my mom ever gave me was a bike because that was it. The last time she go see her child.
Right. So
I knew eventually I would live outside the country.
Gotcha. Okay. So how is your experience? We're both married to Latino women.
Right.
How was your experience? Being married in a relationship with a Latino woman versus an American woman.
Versus American. Oh man, it's like especially since I've been in the marriage genre more than once. I could easily say being married to. Let's go with the American woman first.
Yeah,
because the American woman brings a lot to the table as far as her innovativeness, her business savvy, her a lot of women out there are getting very educated, highly educated. They're starting to make more money than any time in history. To where right now, first time in U.S. history, there are more women employed than men prior to COVID. Now that's changed because women have to be at home taking care of the kids until things get back on track. But women have been doing some great things in the States, and there are a lot of beautiful women in the United States because it's so diverse. So I take nothing away from the United States as far as what the women bring to the table, but the modern day women, how things are starting to evolve in the dating game and the headaches and the games you have to play. No matter what stage and age that you're in, then you've got this body positivity where every woman should be deserved to be a 10 when you know that you're out of shape and you're not healthy. And if you can't take care of your body, you may not be able to help me take care of my body. So a lot of times when it comes to U.S. women, you slipping, ladies. Globally, compared to women globally, you're slipping. You might have more money, but you're going to end up with a dog, just like Kevin Samuel said.
Yeah. And that's what I say.
Now,
it's nothing against sisters. It's nothing personal. But again, I think that they have learned to be too independent, and there's nothing wrong with being independent. But when you looking for a relationship, then you have to be co-independent. And men and men as well. You have to be co-independent. Where you in a relationship for each other. It's not all about you, because it's not all about you and your looks. So yeah, that was one of the things. And I think in my comparison, but living in Dominican Republic, they're more family oriented. Like their family is first. Like if you catch a woman, if she's married, it's all about her family first. It's not about her.
True.
Yeah. Earn Money said, "What's up, Dre from Santo Domingo?"
What's up, good people? When we just got back from DR about a month and a half ago. We went during October for about a month. So we went to Santo Domingo, met Ern and his wife. Great couple, just really good. That's a dude that you want to interview too, man.
Looking forward to meet you.
Yeah,
please like, share, and subscribe, man.
That's a good man right there. That's a good man. And
get out, Earn Money.
I know, right? And so they showed us a great time. Then we went to Puerto Plata. No, we went to Santo Domingo for a week. We went to Santo Domingo 2 weeks. No, Santo Domingo 1 week. Then Santiago for a week, and then Puerto Plata. Puerto Playa?
Yeah, Puerto Plata. Yeah, that's the north side of the island.
Yeah, we went to that one for a week, and then we shot back because we really like Santo Domingo. So we shot back there for another week and enjoyed ourselves. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
But as far as American women versus South American or Latin women in general, the list is not as stringent of expectations that Latin women have compared to American women. American women want you to be 6 feet. I'm 6'3", so I made it to the party.
Okay. I'm 6'2".
Want you to be 6'3", right? With a 6-inch plus, making 6 figures,
6-pack,
with a 6-pack. And so, like in the words of Jaheim, he doesn't exist. You know, and they want this guy to be faithful, church dude, put up with all their attitudes, accept them how they are, no matter what size they are. I remember one woman says, if you
accept them in their children, accept them in their kids.
One woman asked her husband, she said, if I wake up one morning and I was a worm, would you still love me? He said, I would love to take you fishing. That's it. He said, I would take you fishing. And so this long laundry list,
that's a good one.
Have is unrealistic, but in the Latin population, they know that the average man is only between 5'8" to 5'10". So they're like, okay, cool. They know that he might not be a 6-figure dude, but he'll take care of generations. They know that they're expecting their husbands to bring cultural awareness and family values, and not just monies. It's cool dude bringing money, but if you got a dude that's rich but he's a jerk, your kids are going to be learning that. But women in the States don't care as long as he's bringing in that money.
Right. No and they don't care how he brings it in. And it puts a lot of pressure on brothers to go out here and become, do things that they probably normally wouldn't do, because they consider it as, I'm on the grind, I'm getting my bag, I'm hustling, that type of mentality.
They're scamming and
put a lot of pressure. Scamming, robbing, selling drugs, the whole 9 yards, man. And it put a lot of pressure on you. And another thing is very unrealistic in the States too, is they looking for instant gratification. Like, they want somebody to be in their 20s already financially situated when man just got out of high school, if he finished high school.
Just got out of high school.
And you want him to be a millionaire at 21 years old, 20 years old. And so that kind of pressure. And then we look at why the prison system is filled with young black men. They out here doing all kind of, mischievous stuff just so they can try to really impress, because it's all about trying to impress. It's all about materialistic stuff at the end of the day. Okay, you get your money, you're trying to buy stuff to impress people.
Because it's really not, you're not out there trying to make $2,000, $4,000, $8,000 a week to survive. You pass survival. You're not eating soup sandwiches if you're bringing $8,000 a weekend doing illegal activity or scamming somebody. So the rest of it is just to buy something, to impress somebody, to own something, just to pull pull out this big knot of money and put it to your ear, just because you're trying to impress some female that you saw on Instagram. And that mentality is not part of the Latin culture in general. You're not going to see dudes in the Latin culture for the most,
they're not moving like that. They're not moving like that.
And he's mimicking US entertainers. If you see Bad Bunny on there doing some stuff, he been hanging out with US entertainers. That's why he's doing stuff. Or you see J Balvin or any of those modern day Latin performers doing stuff like that, that they've been around Americans. But because naturally, by nature, the Latin culture does not flaunt like that. They don't sit around and waste their time flaunting like that. And so that's the other thing that I find that holds brothers back when it comes to the US. And then you got all the laws that are against men in the United States. If you get divorced, 50% is automatically hers, even though she didn't earn it. When it comes to child support, you have to show and prove your $600, $200, $500 a month. She could lose her job and had lost it for a year, and the child support courts will never say, well, man, where's your $600 that you were supposed to provide for the child, because it's supposed to be 50-50. They never check up on the woman, but they'll check up on a man and put him in jail. And so there's so many laws.
Those laws they're against us. They're against us. And now a lot of guys are reluctant to be married. These young guys, they're not thinking about being married in the States right now.
I don't blame them. I don't
blame them either.
I don't blame them.
I agree.
Lastly, the older women actually think they deserve equal footing as the younger women. Ooh. Ladies don't want to realize that if you got two kids from a prior relationship or relationships, I know, right? From prior relationships or relationship, and you got this girl that's 28 years old and she has no kids, and she has everything that you have: the education, the drive, the desire, the same personality. She loves God like you do. She got the same curves. She got the same thick lips, whatever it is. She has the same thing as you, but she hasn't been tarnished or hurt or
she got less miles on her. She has less miles on her, and she's not as damaged.
Correct. Less miles and less mouth. Yeah. So
yeah, man.
And it's not like we're complaining about women from the States or putting women down from the States. It's just when women hear us talk like this, they think that, oh, you just putting women down because you live in another country, or you with them Latin women, but they don't realize how many Latin women are of color anyway. That's the other thing that kind of surprises me about
that comes with ignorance, because if they knew their history, then they know most Latin cultures have they're a mixture of African descent.
Yes. A lot of people don't even know that only 4% of all slave ships even made it to the United States.
Right, they don't even know that. And a lot of people don't know it was more Africans enslaved in Mexico than the United States as well.
Absolutely correct. Correct.
Yeah, so, they don't even know that. They just think everybody just came straight to the States, and that's not true.
So when you date Latin, they automatically assume, like my wife, the more Spaniard looking Latin, and not realize that there are right. They don't realize that Afro-Colombians or Afro-Latinas is a humongous population globally. And actually, there are more Afro-Latinas in the world and Afro-Latin population in the world than it is African Americans. Between Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, all the Caribbean islands like Mexico and like Puerto Rico and Cuba, there is a larger population of Black people that are of Latin descent than there is African Americans. But we swear we the largest one outside of Africa, and we actually aren't.
And that's because of the arrogance of the American mentality. You know what I mean? And the lack of knowledge.
Yes,
the lack of history, brother. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, man.
But like you say, okay, now compared to the Latin women, as I was saying before, the list of the expectations is smaller. They expect you to be play your role. They are not, first of all, on their list, they are not looking for a partner. That's some US BS. Right. They are looking for a husband.
Facts.
You have a responsibility. The definition of the word husband means gardener. They are looking for a gardener. The definition of the word wife in its original language means life. She's the gardener that comes to life, but you are the gardener. They're looking for you to be that. They aren't looking for you to be their partner, 50-50, this and that. They look for you to be the responsible.
Right. You're supposed to cultivate that garden.
Right. And as you're doing that, they're playing their role. I was telling somebody on a live stream, I said, man, I haven't made my own plate and own drink in 3 years, 4 years. I don't know what. Dude, I wish, dude, I'm gonna tell you something. I wish I would go to the States and make my own plate of food ever again. I wish I would go in there and make my own macaroni and cheese and put whatever I like on there, because I don't eat meat, so my fish, or whatever it is. I wish I would go make my own plate. That is not gonna happen. That is not. If we were at if me and Andre were at Golden Corral, all I got to do is sit there.
Right.
But here's the kicker. They do that for every male in their family, from nephews to brothers, cousins, the brother, dad, granddad. So it's not that there's a lot of women in the States like, oh, y'all like that because they treat y'all like
because we do everything y'all tell them to do, and they don't talk back and all this type of thing. Man, come on.
No, they treat grandma treat every male the same. Mom treat every male the same. My wife treats every male the same.
Get treated very well. It's culturally has nothing to do with us being Americans.
Thank you, but we can't tell that to an American woman. She actually thinks that Latin women in America that do that. Oh, she's just doing that because she wants it. What you gonna say? The green card? You can't say that,
right? They'll say that. They'll say she just wants your money. I'm like, okay,
right? Oh, she just wants your money. Well,
you telling me American women don't want money? Well, why are they in divorce court taking half of everything all the time?
Thank you. They want it. They want you to take them on a $500 date,
right?
$250 date for the first round.
First round.
You ain't get a kiss on the cheek,
and still no promise of the poom poom.
And nothing. Ain't no promise of nothing.
Oh my
So
goodness,
So yeah. Like I said, I'm not putting my sisters in the states down, and or any women from the states down. I'm just speaking that these are realities, and a lot of times, women in the states thinking that you're focusing on the negative realities, and like we started off with, talk about all the positive things that women in the states bring to the table.
right?
However, they
They
fail
have
to
to humble
realize that.
themselves. Yeah, and I think another thing too, Andre, is a lot of these sisters they're really they kind of overprice them, like overprice themselves. And when I
Yeah.
outmarket themselves, let me say that, outmarket
Yes.
themselves
Yes.
because they are
Yes.
very, very educated, right? And so most of them are more educated than their counterparts, which is their husband or boyfriend, and a lot of relationships in America. So
Yeah.
that becomes a problem. So the woman, she's in order for that relationship to work, she's gonna have to humble herself in order for it to
I
work.
I look at it
Because
like
again, if
this,
you're looking
man.
for somebody who's making that same amount of money, then that's gonna it's not a lot making that kind of money. It's not a lot making those six figures that they are acquiring. It's only a limited amount of people making that type of money.
My ex-wife made six figures, but she had very little time to be a wife.
Right.
She made the money. Beautiful, gorgeous. Dude, see my ex-wife, they be like, man, your ex-wife, woo, dude. She great personality, just beautiful heart. Just beautiful heart. Great
Right.
woman. Did not have
Right.
time for the relationship.
Yeah. And
Didn't
that and
have
that's
time.
another
So
thing that take the occupation, depending on what they're doing for a living, it takes them away from the home. And
and
again,
there were times when she didn't even have to be at work, and she would, well, I'll be it would be situations like, okay, let's go to the movies tonight. Okay, cool. And we'll schedule a time period, and she put it off a couple extra hours, so we got to find another movie that's after that one, and so now we're going to the latest movie. And in the beginning it's cool, but after a while you sitting down and talking to each other or going to counseling because something is not there. You got two good people that aren't
mhm,
demonstrative, that aren't evil towards each other, and it's not working out. And so
right.
when you get to the point of we sat down at the kitchen table and we had the divorce talk. And when we
Mm,
stood up, because we wanted to have that talk before anybody got bitter. We didn't want to
right.
be one of those
Right.
bitter separations. And
And that's
so
what
we
that's being adults about it. But
yeah.
go ahead, continue.
And so that's why that's why we're cordial today. We're not buddies because nobody wants to be buddy with any of their exes, but where we are respectful and cordial to each other way more
Right.
than a lot of people are.
Right. Right. Yeah. I want it to be cordial, but I don't know. I can still, from time to time, I can still feel the bitterness.
The reason.
Yeah. Hey, I'm like, hey, life goes on.
All right.
So let me ask you
So
this here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
go
What you about
ahead.
to
No. Go ahead. I was about to hear what you had to say.
I was going to say, so back to some of my questions. What have you learned about yourself since you have became an expat?
I have superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
I have superpowers. I'm like Spider-Man that if he wouldn't, whether it was Miles Monroe, the young black brother that's Spider-Man now, or whether it was Peter Parker, if neither one of them would have jumped off the edge of that building, they wouldn't have discovered their superpowers. I
Right.
realized that when you become an expat, you discover stuff about yourself that
Mm-hmm.
you never have to apply when you're in the
Yeah,
States. There's always a parachute in some way or another in the States. There's
that's true.
always you can call about your bill and it's all right, I'll get an extension. You can always rob Peter to pay Paul in the States. Not saying I had to do that, but when you're younger and you coming up, you ain't got that type of money. You don't have to. Women in the States, they don't have to use their superpower. They got WIC, they've got Section 8, they've got child support, they've got welfare, they've got stimulus money coming in for $300 a child. They don't have to use their superpowers. If
Right.
you lose a job in the United States, somehow, some way, you can still come up with that job because you can lie on your resume, and all of a sudden you got another job that's maybe paying
Right.
you more than the job that kicked you to the curb.
Right.
You don't have to use your superpowers. But
Right.
once men and women leave the United States, all of a sudden a side of them, I don't know if it's called a survival mechanism or you discover your creativity or your business side. I don't know what to call it, but all of a sudden there are sides about you when it comes to you discover, for example, Emotional intelligence. United
Mm-hmm.
States doesn't even rank in the top 20 countries in the world for emotional intelligence, caring about the next person. We don't.
Right. No, we don't.
Colombia ranks number
We're
5 in the world. Philippines is number 1 country in the world for emotional intelligence, caring about the next person, being
Mm-hmm.
cordial, being respectful, appreciating, opening up doors, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a superpower. When you leave the United States and you're doing online work from now on, compared to going into an office, you discover I can actually do online work. I can put in my 8-9 hours, and it's for me and not for somebody else. That's a superpower. You
Right.
discover that you can bargain and you can
Right.
negotiate globally, not just at your local fruit market. That's a superpower. So the first thing that I've learned, the major thing that I've learned is all my superpowers, to appreciate family. You think you know family, you think you appreciate family, but once you get in the Latin family,
Oh
you
man,
appreciate family.
you man,
Man,
you
listen.
appreciate family. Man, I'm telling you, I have the best. I have the best mother-in-law in the world, dude. I
No,
tell
no,
people
you
this all
don't. Because
the
I
time.
got the best one. How you got the best one? I got the best one.
Okay, you got the best one in Colombia. I got the best one in the Dominican Republic. How about that?
There we go. I'll take that.
Hey man, there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. And let me say this about one thing I love about my in-laws is, because I hear a lot of horror stories about the DR stuff when guys come here, whatever. And I'd be like, man, I haven't experienced that. When they interact, for those who do interact with those families, they always kind of need my wife, they're a blue collar family. Everybody works. There's nobody sitting at home waiting for somebody, begging for money or whatever. I have not experienced that. So when they tell me their stories about how they had to take care of their girlfriend or whatever, and the grandmother and the brother and all this other type of stuff, I'm like, dude, I never experienced that. So
all of my wife's family own property. They're all working people. They own farms, and you know how, like in the Bible, you the man. If you got cattle and goats and all, that's them. They own all type of livestock. And here in Colombia, it's like a big deal, because you can flip the calves, and if you got the chicken farm, you got the eggs for sale. So it's always money. So I to sit back and say that I have sponsored my my family here. No, the most that we've ever done was for her brother, who graduated not medical, but as a mechanic. He went to college, not just a trade school, but he actually went to college to become a mechanic.
Right.
Once he graduated, he got a job offer with Toyota, and we bought him his first pair of work boots and gloves with Toyota.
Gotcha.
That's the most that we've ever had to do for the fam.
Right. I'm telling you, man, they're just good people. I have encountered good people, and I'm glad to be a part of this family here. Yeah, man. But I would definitely say I agree with you. It's like a surviving mechanism that comes in when you leave the country. That all the ability, it's some abilities in you that you see, and you won't use them, like you say, until you actually leave your country, because there's no picking up the phone, calling your brother or your cousin or something like that. It's all on you.
It's all on you. You can't say, man, hey dog, let me hold 500 until next week. Ain't no dog to call.
Right, ain't no dog to call.
The countries we live in, they don't have the economics of the average Colombian makes only between $250 and $400 a month. That's it. And most people get paid once a month.
And that's how it is. They get paid once a month.
They get paid once a month. So you see the
at the end of the month. At the end of the month.
I know, right?
Man. Yeah, it's something
so you
else.
can appreciate and just you learn to be a different type of person when you're global. When you try, not even in our own countries of Colombia and DR, but when you start traveling to Mexico or Peru, or like my boy Ace Live, he's in Argentina right now. When you start traveling to these places, I know, right? You start to realize that there is a value in people that's not being talked about. Value in personality and character and behavior. And you sit back, you see dudes on the side of the roads and they wiping down cars, but they got their wife and kid right there. You like, man, this dude in the States, there is no way in the world most dudes were like, if I'm broke, I'm leaving my wife and kids and I'll get myself together. Not down here. They're like, listen, if I'm broke, I'm not about to leave my kids and I'm not about to leave my wife. We just gonna have to be broke until we get some money together.
We're gonna work it out. Yeah,
we're gonna work this out.
Yeah.
She's selling candy. I'm doing tricks on the street corner, something. We're gonna work this out.
Exactly. And again, family come first. They put their family first. And it's a beautiful thing. And again, I can't say it enough. And when I go and look at the States, because I tell my wife this all the time. I say, when I was a little boy, family used to be together. When I was a little boy, I said, but since I got older, it's all about everybody for themselves.
Man, my family been struggling to have a family reunion for 10 years.
Oh man, mine been struggling probably for 20 years. They haven't had
we've been
one.
talking family reunion for 10 years.
They haven't had one since I was about in my 20s. I'm being dead serious. And some of them, I'm from Atlanta. Some of them live in the city. When I was living in the city, I haven't seen them.
Right.
Haven't seen them in years. So it's one of them things, man. You just got to take the good. I still love them, but
I do too.
It is what it is, Yeah, so let me go to some more questions. So describe the femininity of the woman in Colombia.
Oh yeah. One thing that Colombian women know is this. And this is the number one word. If you don't take anything away from this when it comes to Colombian women know this word exists and it's never going anywhere ever until the end of time. Competition. Colombian women know if I'm not feminine, he gonna notice her.
Right.
If I don't take care of my health and keep my curves right, don't worry about it. My man gonna be over there with the one with the curves. If I don't cook and provide and support, don't worry. It's somebody else out there that's going. They're not naive like women in the States where you get gone then.
Right.
Women don't play that.
Right. Like, take care as I am,
Yeah, they realize that just the male species, just by percentage, like in Colombia,
we're limited. We are limited, and they don't treat it as such in the States. We're limited.
Yeah. By the time women in the States, no offense again to ladies in the States, because we love you. By the time you ladies wake up, you 40 and 2 kids. I might be 50 and no kids. Actually, I don't have any kids. I'm 54, and I don't have any shorties running around here.
Right.
So why would I take a woman, especially after spending 14 years as a stepdad? Why would I do that again?
Right.
So I'm more or less like, it's what, at least if somebody that's married to somebody that has children, let the children be older. But in my case, it's more or less like I got a choice. I could be with somebody that's like you ladies that are 40 years old with 2 kids, or I can get with somebody in their 30s or under 30 with no kids with mature behavior, and I don't have to deal with none of the extra baggage. Because a lot of women don't realize in the States, it's not your kids we worried about. Kids are kids.
Right.
We ain't even we ain't really tripping on you.
Right.
But you asking me to take on, let's say you a woman with 1 kid, you asking me to go into a relationship with 3 people.
Right.
You, the child, and the child's father. Well, he's not around, but he has the opportunity, if he's not incarcerated, or if he's around and he may be a bum today, but get his life together tomorrow, he has the opportunity to eventually come back and make it a trio. Right. I don't want to be in a relationship to where I'm with you, with your child, and all of a sudden baby daddy get it on track, and the child is like, daddy, daddy, daddy. I done put in all this energy. I done put you through all this of raising you up and make sure and now daddy got on his feet, and I got to sit back and I got to take second fiddle because dad stepped up, and rightfully so.
Because he's the biological.
But here, femininity is competition. Now, it's different between how women try to be feminine in the States by showcasing their body and have dressed and I'm a diva, I'm a boss bee and all that.
Yeah,
that's not even femininity. That's not what men are asking for. Right. I'm a queen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
she ain't got nothing on me. Because women in the States are just like any women in the world. They're competitive. But when down here, they look at it like, let me learn from the next woman's competitor. Okay, she takes care of her man. I'm gonna take care of my man. She makes sure that she doesn't put on too much makeup and too much lipstick. I'm gonna make sure I don't put on too much lipstick. She learned from her mother and grandmother. Well, let me go ahead and learn from my mother. That's how it is in Colombia.
Right.
Women don't look like,
and they learn how to cook at a very early age.
oh yeah. My wife's been cooking for her brother and her dad like 11 years old since she was 11.
And
I
my
mean,
wife
even when we were
around 9 or 10, somewhere around there. Yeah.
My wife is an accountant, a corporate accountant. She come home from work and her brother's, he's in his 20s. Now he got his own place now, but he was like 18, 19 back then. And she come in the house and mom ain't there, dad ain't there. She come in the house cooking. Now he's 19, but it's a part of the culture because all the things that she subconsciously would do for him, now she does for me.
Exactly.
You know, that she was doing for her dad, what she was doing for her little nephews, what she doing for her younger male cousins and things like that, uncles. She does all those things for me. So it's not that I'm so special, but because the culture has taught her that being supportive is, it helps her when it comes to the competition of women that are out here. Colombian women are not dumb. They know I better have my body, my curves looking right, because she walking down the street. They know that they got 3 cousins in their family that look just good as they do. See, in the States, you might have that 1 or 2 cute people in your family.
Right.
Yeah, the ones that stand out. No, not in Colombia. The mama look good.
Thank you, Mr. Thornton.
Grandma still looking
Mr.
good.
Thornton, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in the chat, Mr. Thornton. Go ahead, brother. Continue.
Yeah, what's up, Thornton?
Yeah.
So yeah, they realize that the competition is there. So they realize to showcase the best feminine woman they are. And then once again, going back to gender roles, women in Colombia don't want to be like men. They don't want to they don't want to take out no trash. They ain't talking about no Me Too down here. Ain't no body shaming down here. There is none of that. They're like, listen, I know I'm a woman and God made me to be built with curves. So I'm gonna make sure I got curves. I know I'm a woman and I know that I can cook better than my man and show love and I can hold down a household better than a man can. So I'm gonna hold it down. They have no problem with that part. Women in the United States think that it should be either or, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. And I experienced the same thing. I mean, here they're very feminine, and you just notice it right off the rip. They're very friendly. I like how they greet each other too. They give each other. When I see 2 females greeting each other, if they're if they notice each other, they give a hug. They kiss each other on the cheek. It's love. It's genuine love. It's not somebody kiss somebody on the cheek and as soon as they walk behind the person, oh, I can't stand her. You don't see stuff like that. I haven't experienced stuff like that. I haven't. And I'm in the center part of this island. I'm like in the center, so I'm like central location. But I haven't experienced that. They're very feminine. They're very lovable. They're very caring. And like I told my wife, I said, you know what? One thing I noticed about here, even if somebody needs some food, a neighbor, they will cook and pack up and tell their child to take it up the street to somebody. I said, I haven't even seen hungry people. Even the people that's crazy walking around, somebody feeding them, you know. So again, we just dealing with a whole different mindset, a whole different culture that
you kind of froze there for a second. But I understand completely what you're talking about as far as dealing with a whole different culture and mindset, because you think you know until you find out that there is more to know. And that's basically what it is when you're traveling and take advantage of your passport. When you think you know everything and then you find out everything that you thought you knew was not everything to know. And so at the end of the day, when you start traveling, and I recommend that for anybody, once you start traveling, take advantage of your passport because it will teach you. The passport is probably the thickest book that you will ever own. I'm going to say this again. The passport is the thickest book you will ever own because there is so much knowledge you will acquire from taking advantage of your passport. It will amaze you how much life and how much insight and knowledge you gather from the passport. So that's why I always call a passport the thickest book that you will ever read, because there is so much that's going to go off into that book or by way of that book because you're taking advantage of it. Yeah. Look like you froze there for a moment.
There you go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see. You might want to just use your avatar if you want to. I heard you for a second. Thanks, guys, for coming into the live stream. If you can, take the link of this channel and share it in your with somebody else, and share it in your WhatsApp groups and your travel groups, letting guys know that we're on the live stream. We're going to help this brother channel build up to at least $200 to $300, 200 to 300 subscribers within the next few days. So let's get this brother's channel on board, because he's planning on doing some positive things with this channel. So yeah, guys, and we appreciate that.
No doubt. Yeah, thank you. I think I'm up to speed now. Can you hear me now? I'm trying to make sure we're on the same speed.
Oh yeah, I can hear you and see you. Yep, there you go.
Okay, trying to catch up. Yeah. So okay. So what is the worst thing? What is the worst thing that you
you froze again. You said what is the worst thing? And that was it. And I think you're going to ask me what's the worst thing about. I'm going to give you two parts of the worst thing. The first worst thing is going to be about living in Colombia, and the second worst thing is going to be about Colombian women. The first worst thing about living in Colombia is you have a tendency of comparing other countries to Colombia once you leave. Whenever we travel somewhere else, Colombia is so thick of. There we go.
Okay.
You somehow make the mistake of comparing Colombia. Now, this is what I was saying. I said, because I didn't get a chance to hear the last part of what you were saying.
What's the worst thing about Colombia that you don't like?
That's exactly where I was going. I actually told the audience I was going to talk about the worst thing about Colombia and the worst thing about Colombian women. The first is in regards to, you have a tendency of comparing Colombia to other countries, because Colombia is such a good country that once you leave, I heard this statement one time: if you're going to travel the world, make Colombia the last country you visit, because if you make Colombia your first country, it will be your last country, because you will like it so much. Do not go to Colombia first. And I've heard that from a lot of people. Don't go there. Don't come here first. Go visit other countries first, other islands, other locations. Because if you come here first, it's going to be your last place that you're going to come to, because you're going to be like, I ain't going nowhere. And I know plenty of people that have done that actually came to visit and actually did not go anywhere once they came here. They were like, man, this is a Shangri-La. I'm good. And so the worst thing I could say about it is, because everything that you want is here. We've got Sam's Club in the States. They've got Price Mart. Looks same store, the exact same situation, the exact same store. We have Dollar Tree in the United States. They've got Dollar City, literally the same franchise. The buildings look the same. One says city, one says store. So, I mean, or tree. So we have that. We have, what is it? What's that store, that furniture store where you can buy we got Ashley Furnitures. We've got like you guys do.
We got
Ashley. IKEA. You know, you guys have IKEA just like the States have IKEA. We have Home Center just like you have Lowe's. So all those, you're not missing out on anything. You know, you're thinking that you're going to, well, I got to bring this with me when I relocate, that with me. That
right.
You can't. All the new vehicles.
Is electronics marked up higher than it is in the States there?
Say that again.
Electronics, the prices marked up higher in Colombia than it is?
Yeah. Electronics and cars are a little higher here.
Yeah, they're a little higher.
States.
Yeah.
But
Same thing here. Same
you
thing
understand because of the import and the cost for them to bring it into the country and and to bring it to the other side of the country. A lot of people don't realize that Colombia is just give them an idea. Colombia is the size of Texas, like literally the size of Texas. So just in case you want an idea of okay, how big is the country? The same size Texas is. We know Texas could be its own country.
What's the population of people there?
Man, you know what? I forget what the full population is. I know Bogota is 9 million. It ranks in the top 20 largest cities in the world. Medellin is 3 million, and it's number 66 in the largest city in the world. Cali, we are 2 million people here in Cali. Then you've got Cartagena, which is under 1 million. You've got Bogota, Barranquilla, Santa Marta. Then you got the coffee region, which is Manizales, or the farm region, in other words. Manizales, Pareda, Armenia, all those, the coffee. We love that area. We're going to buy us a finca out there. Beautiful, beautiful land, beautiful people. And so Colombia has 5 states. A lot of people don't think about Colombia having states like the United States. Colombia has 5 states. And so I really can't say that there's anything that I don't like other than maybe the chaotic driving. You know, maybe I would have to say that, but in Europe and in South America, driving is somewhat chaotic compared to the United States. You somewhat look at how in the world do they even have the lines in the middle because they don't take advantage of it. And so it's things like that that may throw you off a little bit. But other than that, other than the chaotic travel, I don't think that there's anything else that I could say that I find negative about Colombia. Now let's talk about Colombian women, guys. Let me take the hat off. We're about to get deep into this.
There we go.
Let's talk about the Colombian women. What's negative about the Colombian women?
Okay.
First of all, a woman is a woman no matter where you go in the world. Don't let nobody sell you that at the end of the day, she has expectations of you. At the end of the day, she has ups and down moods in life. At the end of the day, she is a woman. So let that foundation be laid out. Also, the negatives about Colombian women, there really aren't any. The negativity that I notice with guys when it comes to Colombian women is the women that they choose. If you gravitate only to the party girls or the pay for play girls or the fun girls, that's what you're going to always get. And you're going to get the results of those women. Not everybody wants those type of women year round. I know some guys that live here and they're in their 60s. They keep 5, 6, 7 of the most gorgeous fun girls around them all the time. They got long money and they just like, I don't want to get married. I just want the company of fun girls. I met a few of those guys down here in Colombia, and they the coolest, nicest guys that you ever want to meet. So you can't make a judgment call on those dudes. But even those guys are wise about the type of women that they have around. It may be 6 of the women around, but you better believe those 6, he could put a $100 bill down, and those women know they better not ever touch it because they know that he takes care of them too well to steal from him. Or he knows that these women have such a good heart and good culture and good background from their families that these women would be shamed by their family to know that they stole from somebody who was already being there for them in the first place. So even these guys that have a lot of party girls know how to find out which girl is a good woman, which one isn't. But when it comes to most of us, like you and I, that are looking for maybe one person, they're out here. There's some women that have great careers, great educated women that have money. If dudes sit back and think and listen to those people in the States, you think South America, nobody has any money. Well,
you let them tell it everybody broke.
Everybody broke. Even though you're riding past business after when you get in your car, you're riding past business after somebody owns that gas station. Somebody owns
that stuff.
That liquor store. Somebody owns that pharmacy. Right. But let Americans tell them that we're still living in that we're down here living in the jungles in the Amazon somewhere with the indigenous.
Now, I never been to Colombia, but what I will say, Colombia has better infrastructure than the Dominican Republic. But in the DR, you have a lot of blended communities. So you might have a big mansion here, you might have a little shack next to it. It's just a blended community. There's nobody thinking they're above the other person. I'm talking about the natives. I'm not talking about these expats. The expats, they want to go and get a gated community. It's more Western style. But when you really, I live down here with the natives, so it's like you might a nice house here, not so nice house there. A store here, a big store here, a very small store there. A bodega, whatever you want to call it. So just a mixture. But you never know who has the money because there's nobody trying to dress to impress. It's just a whole different mentality.
Nope. That's another thing that I like. You can actually just, I tell dudes why come down here with 4 or 5 pair of Jordans and all that stuff. I'm like, Colombia's Adidas country anyway, so they still wearing Le Coq Sportif with the rooster on the side. So you really not impressing somebody with your Jordans, and they don't know the difference between the real ones and the fake ones. So they don't know if it's real or if it's fake. So you really not impressing anybody. If anything, I can say also about Colombia that I wish that you could have more freedom with, for example, your gold chain. Dudes know down here, you better tuck that gold chain or somebody gonna come along and snatch it just to be snatching. To where in Europe and the United States, people aren't as prone to kind of like try to steal a cell phone or take somebody's little small gold chain or somebody's gold ring that's a wedding band. In the United States, we really ain't, for the most part, we aren't on that. So it's a lot more freedom of being able to express yourself without having to worry about somebody pushing up on you trying to steal what you have. Even though we do have thieves in the States, you don't have as many people trying to push up on you, trying to take your little gold chain or trying to take your. So that's more of a freedom that I wish was expressed more in Colombia, with the freedom to be able to not have to worry about somebody stealing. I mean, Andre was telling me a few years back, it was a bunch of girls that would go around stealing other girls' hair. They would actually walk up on the girl, put a knife behind her neck, or even guys will put a knife up to the girl's neck, and they would just cut the girl's hair off and sell it as weave. Because Colombian women, they had that that long hair going down, and so they just cut the women hair to where Colombian women would just wear their hair in a bun, so nobody would know how long their hair was. So that went on for a while, a few years back. But things have changed. Things have gotten a lot better. It's not perfect, but it's gotten a lot better. And so those type of things about Colombia that you kind of like don't agree with or you realize that's not so good. But when it comes to Colombian women here in Colombia, I'm trying, it takes me a minute to even consider or think of something that is not positive about Colombian women, because for the most part, there is a difference between Afro-Colombian women and women. There's a difference between Afro-Colombian women and women that are the Spanish Colombian women. Colombian women are just like any other Latin group. They have a hint of jealousy, privacy, and protectiveness. I'm going to say that again. They have a hint of jealousy. They have a sense of privacy, and they also have a sense of protectiveness. That's you want them to feel that way about you. They want to not protect you from trouble, but just be there for you, be there for their families. And so those are the type of things that you look forward to in Colombia or Latin women, because I've dated Puerto Rican women, Cuban women, Venezuelan women. I've dated everybody in the Latin community, and each one of them I found to be very family oriented. And so once you enter into the family, they're going to treat you the exact same way they treat family. And so those are the things that you'll find about Colombian women. But for the most part, I haven't found anything that's really stand out negative that works your nerve about Colombian women. I haven't found that at all for the most part.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what is your favorite? Just changing the gears a little bit. What is your favorite Colombian dish?
Oh, anything that's got to do with pescado, fish.
Gotcha.
Any type of fish, any type the way that they prepare their fish, the way they season it, the way a lot of guys come to Colombia and say, man, their food is bland. That's because they go to the shops and the restaurants because they're just tourists. So they come here, they go to the shops and the restaurants that the meal is $3. It's a nice size meal, but you're not going to get the seasonings and things that you would get if you go to like an Afro-Colombian restaurant. They're from the coast. They're from the Pacific coast or from the Atlantic coast. So you're going to get really good food from them and different seasonings, different flavors. If you go to some of the more fancy restaurants, you're going to get different foods and different flavors. But if you go to the basic mom and pop that's right around the corner from your hotel room, yeah, that meal is only $2, and you're gonna get a big piece of meat. You're gonna get 2 or 3 sides. You're gonna get a big salad. You're gonna get a big drink for $2. Yes, but it's not gonna be on the same level of seasoning that you would see. See, my man Domain, my Spanish instructor, is here.
I see him.
Let's talk Spanish TV. You guys get a chance? Did you subscribe? Oh yeah, that's my dude.
Yeah.
And so a
Thank
lot
you for
of
coming
times,
in, brother.
I know, right? So a lot of times dudes don't realize that they aren't experiencing the real Colombia. That's another thing. If you only go to Medellin and Cartagena and maybe sometimes Bogota and maybe sometimes Barranquilla, you haven't experienced Colombia at all. You haven't experienced at least 97% of the country. You don't know nothing about Colombia. If all you do is Cartagena and Medellin, you know nothing about Colombia. So stop going back to the States and telling people that you've experienced Colombia. No, you experienced 2 cities in Colombia, but you have not truly experienced Colombia.
And that's how it is here. Most guys, they go to Sosúa, and if they don't go to Sosúa, they go to Santo Domingo, and after that they might go to Santiago. Very few. And that's about it. Yeah. And that's about it.
Wow.
Yeah, man. But hold on, I got another question. Yeah, let's see.
Swear they know DR.
Yeah, they swear they know
DR. Man, I've been to DR 20 times. Where you been to, Sosúa? Okay, where else? Puerto Plata? Okay, that's down the street, but okay. Where else?
What is your favorite? What is your favorite city in Colombia?
Oh man, my favorite city is Cali.
Gotcha.
Cali's got the same weather as Tampa, so is Medellin is the city of eternal spring. It rains for at least about 30 minutes to an hour every day for about 200 something days out of the year. You have Cartagena, which is on the Atlantic coast, now we're going to put it right across. You've got Cartagena right here. You got Bogota in the middle, and you got Santa Marta right here. So they're straight across from each other, 2 hours apart. And all of them right off the Atlantic Ocean. And because Colombia is the only country in the world that's right off the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. If I'm not mistaken, Colombia is the only country in the world that's separated by 2 oceans as well, or connected to 2 oceans. But it's too hot. Basically, it's too hot. It's like being in Santo Domingo all the time up there.
Right.
You know, I love Santo Domingo, but it's hot.
Oh, it's super hot. It's African hot.
That's Cartagena.
Right.
The same heat. And so I can't do the heat like that. Bogota is close to the mountains, so it's cold. When I say cold, bring your coat out because you feeling like you're in New York because they got snow-capped mountains over there. A lot of people don't think about Colombia having snow-capped. It's dude. I have done mountain climbing in Colombia. I've been up 14,000, 15,000 feet above sea level. It is cold up there. At the top of those volcanoes, it's cold up there. And so a lot of time that wind chill comes straight down into Bogota. So you're going, for the most part throughout the year, you're in your 60s, 67, 68, 69 in Bogota, 61, 62 with no snow. But they'll get a little rain. But for the most part, especially when it gets cold at night, You definitely know it. So here in Cali, you know, me living in Florida 14 years, it literally has the same weather as Tampa. Like if it was 83 in Tampa, it would be 83 here in Cali. If it was 79 in Tampa, it was 79 here in Cali. I don't know why it's like that, but the same weather I got. So I'm accustomed to the weather already. So I enjoy that. Right. Secondly, I enjoy Cali because I call it the Atlanta of Colombia. No other city outside of those coastal cities have the amount of Afro-Colombians that are doing really good than Cali. You have some in Medellin that are doing okay. You have very few, but some in Bogota. Cartagena is, you know, is coastal, so they're there. But but a lot of times they migrate to Cali because there's so many educational and business opportunities for people of color here. And so that's one of the reasons why I call it the Atlanta of Colombia. And also, you cannot beat the body. There is no major city in Colombia that have women that have bodies that look like Cali. And that's when I came out with the term called Cali curves.
Cali curve. I remember you coined that term, Cali curve.
Yeah, because the ladies, their thighs, like they'll have these small waistline, and then all of a sudden everything just flares out the behind, and their thighs are just so look like somebody like Stan Lee drew them as a comic book hero. And you'll see that a lot. Their thighs are really solid, like track stars. Solid thighs, solid calves, and the behind, and then you see the small waistline. You see the prettiest face on these sisters, dimples, that long curly hair that you see, or the long straight hair. You see the sister, ain't no weaves nowhere. And you're looking at some of the most beautiful dark chocolate. Not just brown chocolate, some of the most beautiful dark chocolate women you have ever seen in your life. You like, yeah. So if you in the sisters, and you want to be in a major city, Cali is the place. We just got back.
What about Cartagena?
Cartagena?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. Cartagena, you have the coastal sisters, but I always think about the well-roundedness. Gotcha. Cartagena, the tourist area, woman. It has it has that look about it, like, oh, I'm having such a good time. But if you live in Cartagena, you see more Black people struggling. When you go to the hood, you go into there is no sidewalks, there is no roads. And so those people, and plus it's expensive to live in Cartagena just as a regular person.
Right.
But so when I say Cali, is because I see not only Black women that are beautiful, but they're focused on it's nothing to see a sister in school. I was doing salsa. I was at a salsa club the other day, and I met this one sister. She does crypto, and she works for the mayor. You know, you see sisters doing stuff. You don't see that as much, and even though it's there, it's not as prevalent and expected in Cartagena as is expected.
So basically, they're more intellectual.
Yeah, they are. At least the Black population. Not is everybody down here that's Black? No, you got the hood. You got a hood, and they act like they did when they was up in Cartagena with the loud music, in Bogota, I mean Barranquilla, with the loud music, blah blah blah, speakers sticking out the window, and you like, that's hood. But you still have a lot of people that are getting out of the hood. Or one of the things that they do here also is they will let the outside of their house look like the rest of the neighborhood. But as soon as you crack that door, it looks like that house should be somewhere in a magazine in California.
That's how it is here.
It's very often you'll see a house on the outside. You think that that's a shack, or it's regular. Ain't nothing special about that house. And you go on the inside, and it looks Hollywood, Vegas all day long. Some of the most amazing architecture and beauty and modernness will be inside that house, and you would not know it at all.
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears again. So let's go to we're gonna give some traveling tips to the Black men, because the reason why I came up with this one because I know I see some of these brothers out here on these channels, man. They just they don't understand the importance of image. And again, it's your money. You can do what you want to do. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, we still represent each other no matter what.
True.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
I would say learn the culture. I would say learn the language as much as you can. Speaking of language, how's your Spanish now, man?
Oh man, boy, the man gonna kill me. I already told myself that. I already told myself I'm binging all the lessons that the man and I have been studying, because he's been my instructor for a minute, and so I'm binging all my lessons that he and I have done on Zoom. So when we get started again at the beginning of the year, I'm at least up to par on everything that we have studied.
So is he's in Colombia?
He's there with you.
Oh, okay. And so
but,
I might
you
need to
could
get
do
with him
Zoom. You
myself.
could do Zoom. Yeah, you could do
I might
Zoom
with him myself so I can learn the Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some stuff, but I want to be fluent. I'm not fluent.
That's how your mind is all in bits and pieces, missing all over the place. And then it's kind of funny. My ear is a lot better than my blad. And so when somebody's speaking, I can tell you from being around Andre family, I can kind of basically tell you what a person is saying easily now. But when it's time for me to speak, it's like, what? So I've heard that it normally takes between 6 to 8 months to really get you a nice foundation down. And so I promised myself that's going to be my gift for myself for 2022 to really get it down, because now I'm starting. Like a couple of weeks ago, they asked us to be ambassadors for the city. And I did a couple of interviews, and I was so lost with my Spanish. And I was like, you know what, Andre, it's really time, because now you're starting to make connections.
Right.
And it's one thing to be in a country and you're able to survive and live and enjoy your life. But now you're making connections. Now I'm making connections with people that's like, let's go bowling. Let's play golf. Let's play some tennis. Let's do business.
Right.
And if I don't have that, that preparation of Spanish.
Yeah. You, like you say, you at least need we both need the foundation. I just have a structure. Like I'm hearing it. It sounds strange depending on if they speaking if they speaking a lot all at one time. It's like a lot, because it's here in Dominica, they speak the most fastest Spanish speaking. They speak faster than
Andre
anybody else.
understand. Andre did not understand half the time when they were talking. She said they talk too fast and the Spanish is too broken.
And it's broken Spanish on top of that. So it's not like complete Spanish. So I tell my wife, what I'm learning, I'm not hearing. So my ears are waiting for something to be heard that's not being heard because it's broken. They're not speaking the proper Spanish.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. The main says, I'm in the US right now on vacation. A shout out for that one.
Yeah. Okay, I'm definitely going to get a Colombia for you, brother.
Yeah, good. He's a good teacher, really good. He's
get my information from get my information from Andre, man. I definitely want some lessons.
Yeah, he's good. And the reason why I chose the main was I wanted somebody that was outside of Colombia. So remember, I said Colombia has 3 states, and which means Colombia has 5 states. That means that there are 5 different ways of saying something in Spanish as well. Even though Colombia is known linguistically by like the International Linguistics Organization as the perfect country to learn Spanish, because their pronunciation is like up to par, right? You still don't want to make the mistake of learning Spanish from one region, then you get to another region and certain terms and words may be completely different. So what I enjoy about the main is he breaks it down elementary style and then bring me up to par on proper communication and things like I did. Like one of the first lessons he taught me was, I didn't even think about it, that every letter in Spanish makes a sound. In English, it doesn't do that. So when you're trying to look and read Spanish and English, you're used to words like knife. The K doesn't make a sound. You're used to certain words that don't make a sound.
Right. Yeah, you have
like the word apple. In the word apple, the E doesn't make a sound, but it's there.
Right.
But in Spanish, every word makes a sound, and then I understand why when a person in Spanish speaks English, because they're pronouncing every word. I mean, every letter in that word, because subconsciously that's how Spanish is. So the main has taught me little things like that. The other thing is Spanish is just like it's a gender language as well, male and female gender. So your pronunciation, if I learned everything from Andrea, my pronunciation will come across as
you'll be pronouncing feminine words
too feminine.
Right.
And so I purposely chose a man.
Right.
I chose a brother to where he's going to be pronouncing words from a male's perspective and not me hearing the subconscious ways that females talk all the time. So it was a reason why I chose the man. And plus, I'm gonna get a brother the money before I get the money to somebody else. I'm supply my fellow expat,
That's right. So let's see what else. Let's see. I would my another tip that I would say is become economically inclined. Meaning, if you come into a country, you definitely need to learn the currency.
You do,
because you could definitely get ripped off and stuff like that. That's important. Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead.
Another one for me is when you leave the United States, leave the United States.
Leave that bad energy.
United States.
Leave that bad energy.
I'm that too, but stop trying to come to other countries and make it the United States. Half y'all dudes keep looking for hip hop clubs. Y'all looking for women that act like women in the States, but still be fit. No, you come to Cali. This is the capital in the world for salsa music and dancing. You ain't gonna find a bunch of hip hop clubs. Do they play that music in reggaeton in certain areas? Yes. When you go to Peru, when you go to Thailand, when you go to Mexico, respect the culture enough to stop automatically looking for what to make you feel comfortable. Because a lot of dudes don't want to learn the culture.
In their country.
In their country.
And remember, you are a visitor. You're a visitor. No matter what, you are
driving.
Yeah,
I can sit up there and get mad at all these motorcycles all around me, or I can sit back and say, you know what? That's how they drive. The motorcycles are all in between the cars, all on the side of the cars, and
they drive crazy like that too.
Oh, dude, Colombia, man. Please.
Well, you got a sample of. I've never been to Colombia, but I know you got a sample of that DR driving. Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, what got me in Santo Domingo? They don't even have street lights in certain areas. Like no street lights, no stop signs. So everybody got to ride by. When you get a ride by, you got to hit the horn. Like, I'm coming through.
I'm coming through.
What?
And some of them come as like a 4-way street. They'll come out in the middle and then stop. I'm like, no, you done blocked the damn road. Now you might as well keep on going. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but
man.
I won't lie. If it's just little things like that you have to worry about, and when you leave the United States, I'm gone. Well, let me ask you this. What made you decide, and I'll even answer it myself, what made you decide that living in DR was the best fit for you compared to back home in the United States?
Good question. Okay, so for me, initially, I was out of a marriage. I was married for 20. My previous marriage was for 20 years until I met my wife. So I was just a bachelor. So initially, I was going to live in Africa. I was going to Africa. That's where I was going to live. And one of my coworkers, he was dating. Now he's married to her. He told me to come here because I was on my 3rd trip to go to Africa. He was like, hey, man, cancel that trip. Come down here with me. And I came here. I fell in love with the culture. The weather was similar to Africa. It was very nice and hot. And it just had that little African Spanish spin to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's what that was it. And so I flew back. We was into a wedding. Went to a wedding here. Somebody, a stranger from America. He lived ironically, he lived in Atlanta, actually in the Stone Mountain area. And he told us to come to the wedding. He said, because I'm the only one here. I'm getting married, and y'all will be my American brothers for that day. So we went to the wedding. We talked that day, exchanged numbers the day before his wedding. And when I flew back to the States, and that's when he told me someone was interested in me. So that's how I met. That's how I met my wife. Not at the wedding. She was going through her sister. She was going through her sister-in-law phone, and she was like, "Who is that guy right there?" They was like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
That's what's up, man.
I flew back out, man. And when I say that was divine intervention, that was divine intervention. Because initially, I'm telling you, I would have been in Africa right now. I know I would have.
Well, the main said what country?
Oh, what country? Okay, I was in Ghana. I went to Ghana twice. I was initially I dated a chick there. I say about a year or so, but I went there twice, and I enjoyed it there in Ghana. It was nice. And like I said, I would have been there. Even if me and her broke up, I was still going to Africa no matter what. Because as a black man in America, I felt like we have fought so much and we're still not considered fully Americans. You know what I mean? So that was my thought process then and still now. It's just like, second-class citizens almost, and we still keep fighting, still talking about the same subjects that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was talking about. You know what I mean? So
I feel more American outside of America, than
I
do in America,
than I do in America.
More outside of the United States.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. Let me say this while it's fresh on my mind. I remember filling out my passport because I didn't get my passport till I got a divorce. So I had to be in 41, 42 years old at the time.
Right.
So anyway, I got my passport, and my first trip was Africa. But when I got my passport, I remember filling out I'm gonna tell you how America have us all kind of screwed up sometimes, So I'm up here filling out the application, and it says, down there with you, I put African American, and the white lady was like, she was like, "Sir, no, don't put that." So I had to start the application all over. She said, "No, just put American. You don't have to put African American." So again, we've been told so many things. Then we start digesting them. We start accepting them. For example, the color black. We say black, but I'm looking at myself and yourself. We kind of similar tone. It's brown.
Right. It's brown.
But we have accepted the term black because that was the color, part of the color, you know what I'm saying? The color, it's a social construct. So that was a part of that. So we've learned to adopt things that we shouldn't have adopted to. So when I hear people talking in conversation, I know what they mean, but I say, okay, black, but so that's why, but Africa was it. To answer your question, Africa was it. I still got a love for Africa. I just retired last week officially. I do want to go to Africa at least once every. Thank you. I want to go there at least once every other year. But I want to go to different countries this time. But Egypt is on my list. One of mine to do. Egypt.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I think I was talking to you the other day. Andre and I already plan on that. We're going to be spending a lot of time in Europe over the next couple of years. I'm heavy into architecture. And heavy into global history. So we're going to be, plus it'll give us the opportunity to be close enough to be able to fly from Africa to Europe compared to flying from South America or North America to Europe. So to Africa. So that gives us easier access to Africa.
6-hour flight, depending on what country. Yeah.
Plus in Europe, you can do a train ride to 13 countries for $500. And we talk about those super trains. And so,
wow,
you for $500, you're getting in 13 countries. You're like, bet. And so I was wondering, like, how many. I'm sitting back looking at people talking about they've gone for 6 months and they come back and they're like, well, I went to 34 countries. You're like, how did?
So that's the secret. That's the secret.
Once you get to Europe, everything gets around by train and by very, very inexpensive flights. Same thing with Colombia. Colombian flights are like $50 here, $75 there, $23 here. Yeah, $30 to Medellin.
That's
round
crazy,
trips
man.
like
That's
$52.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And plus, with it not being so large of a country, like it's the size of Texas, your flight is no more than an hour 15 minutes, no matter where you go.
Right.
And so, and those are some of the benefits of being here in South America. The other thing about being benefit about being here in South America that a lot of people don't know is once you get your cellular in South America, you don't have a social security card. You have an ID. You have your ID card.
Gotcha.
And your ID card has a number. Now, of course, I cover my number up.
Of course, I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
yeah. Please cover up the good report.
It's right. It's your social security card and your ID in one.
Right.
But with this, I could I don't have to use my passport in South America again. I can go to Brazil.
That's how, yeah.
I can go to Peru, Argentina,
the whole South America, right.
All of South America. The only one that's not in it but for right now is Venezuela, but that's because of what they're going through in Venezuela. So you gotta have a visa to get into it. But other than that, I could open up businesses. I could buy property, any of those countries.
Yeah, I'm working on my citizenship. I'm working on my actually my lawyer has my passport now. They supposed to put the visa on there, and then that'll get residential. My residential, then I get my second citizenship.
I'll be eligible for my full citizenship next March to apply for my full citizenship. So I'll be able to have a Colombia because my goal is 3 passports.
Mine's is too, bro. Mine is too. I want one from Africa. I want one from Africa.
3 passports, man. Got that third.
Yeah, I want that third one.
Andre and I said we want our kids to be born with 3 passports. So that's one of the reasons why we decided that we're going to be living outside of Colombia for a while. So when we do have children, we want to have the children born with a U.S. passport, a Colombian passport, and the passport of whatever country they're born in.
So what you say you leaving next year?
Yeah. We're going to go visit Portugal for 4 months. And then we're going to in that we're going to be heading to other countries. Of course, we'll be visiting other countries. She's got family in Europe as well, and so after that, we'll make a decision on what country we want to go to. We'll be shooting down to Africa. We don't know what country we're going to go to in Africa, but during that 4-month window, we're going to take a flight down. But at the end of the day, even though we love Colombia and we're going to own property here, Andrea and I want to experience life in other countries. That's why we did a 4 month in DR. And unlike other dudes, other people, they do a few weeks in DR. I mean, a few days in DR. We actually did 4 months. Yeah, we were the whole month. Yeah, that's why we were able to do a whole month. Yeah, for 1 month. Yeah,
gotcha.
We did a train ride. We did a subway ride in Santo Domingo. A lot of people don't even know it's a subway in Santo Domingo.
Dude, you just told me something that I didn't know.
What? Santo Domingo DR has the only subway system in the Caribbean, and I'm talking about clean, brand new. Yeah, dude, it is. Yeah, it is. It is beautiful, man.
I will be heading down there. I will be heading down there next month. I've already I got a friend flying in, and so he's going to be in Santo Domingo area. I said, yeah, because here I'm in like a rural area. It's not room for entertainment.
Right.
So I said, hey man, you can either go down south to Santo Domingo or you can go to Puerto Plata. Which one you want to do? Pick your poison, and then from there, what I'm saying, we'll navigate from there. So yeah, man. So what is your take on the passport pookies?
Okay. This part of me, this is Andre, right? And guys already know how I am. Well, look,
let them know how I talk anyway. Let them know who passport.
The passport pookies. Like we said earlier, man, we're not trying to tell a man how to spend his money. We ain't pocket watching. We ain't doing none of that stuff.
Right.
But if we're not pocket watching, you got to watch your own pockets. And a lot of dudes make the mistake of overpaying. When they're out there being a passport pookie, they fall in love with the wrong woman or don't want to face reality. Yeah, they lie to themselves. One of the easiest things that a woman, I tell dudes that women in Colombia and DR and South America have the ability to make these dudes do one thing and one thing only, and they can get anything they want from them. As long as they can get you to lie to yourself,
right?
They can get your money, they get your sex, They get your time. They get you to
All
marry
of
them. They get you to
all
do
of
all of it, as long as you lie to
That's true.
yourself. And these
Fact.
dudes get off the plane constantly lying to themselves. She
Mm-hmm.
loved me. Okay, when was the last time you been down? I got a partner. This
Yeah.
dude does not even own a passport, has never been here to Colombia, and yet and still, this dude is claiming that this girl is his girlfriend for the last year, and he's been sending her money. I'm like, brother, that's not your girlfriend.
This one
is not your girlfriend.
I know a dude, man. He only came. He was talking to this chick. He only been down here. Well, even before he got down here, he was already talking about, yeah, I'm looking at land, this and that. I'm like, hold on, how you go look for land? You ain't even got here. So he just recently came for the first time. So I'm like, okay, so he's in a relationship. So I'm saying, when you coming back? Oh man, I'm coming back in the spring sometime. I'm like, now this is, this man got, retired, got funds together. I'm like, what's the hold up? What's the problem, man? But they thinking they got all this time, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Themselves.
That's why I say he's not being 100% honest with himself. And I know for me, even when I was back and forth every two months, I was flying back. Making myself active, because I knew I was in a relationship. Now, my wife, once we got married, after the 2 years, she did fly to the States, and she didn't like it. So I was going to do 30 years, and so when she said she didn't like, I said, okay, well, you go back. Now she do have a son for the previous relationship before she met me. So she had one child. So I was like, okay, go back. It's no problem. I say I just go ahead and just toughen it out, and I just keep doing what I'm doing. Just go back and forth, and then after my 27th year, I'm like, she was like, just come on home. We 3 years ain't gonna be, we'll be okay. I was like, okay, babe. So
yeah,
that's what it was. She was like, come on home. She said, this is not my idea of being married. I need my husband here with me. I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right.
That's how Andre and
I did that. I flew back and forth for 6 years, man.
Wow. Wow. I only did mine for like maybe a year.
Yeah.
Because I knew that you were more established in your career.
Right.
Even though I was a college recruiter, I'm making really good money. I was looking for any excuses to get me out of the States. I was like, what? Okay, I'm out. and I had already been following, expats, and they were making money online anyway. I was like, what? I could work for somebody online, and that means I could move to whatever country I want to. So I started off by getting hired for a company to work online. And that was it. Once I was making online US dollars,
that was a wrap. That was a wrap.
It. I was on the first thing smoking. The only reason I was going back and forth was to do little things like sell my car or make sure I had all the paperwork I needed, or I'm buying furniture here, so I'm like getting rid of furniture there, little things like that. But I had already made up in my mind. I'm disconnecting. Even when I go to the States now, I feel more like a ghost than I feel like a part of the U.S. now.
I don't feel like a part of it either. It's like and let me say this: America is a beautiful country, but we have to always remember that America is an experiment.
Yeah.
It's
the other thing is, I'm not bombarded every day with my color like in the States.
Right.
In the States, when you wake up, black, you're reminded every day that you're a black guy, whether it be our own people reminding each other, you got to stay strong because you black, you got to get an educate, you got to do this because you black. You get pulled over by a cop, you black. If you go to black club, you support the black dollar, which is all you see what I'm saying?
All a part of the system. Even if you're talking to black talk, you still conceded talking toward the system. And so the best way, I say this, man. We got black folks got the what's that syndrome with I forget the name.
The Stockholm syndrome.
We got the Stockholm syndrome when it comes to the United States.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it as a group. We have a Stockholm syndrome where we always Okay, go along just to get along. And then, you know, so when our feathers get ruffled, then we want to start barking again. And then after things calm down, we come back down. We come back, you know, but we never want to leave. And again, it's not for everybody to leave. Let me say that too. It's not for everybody to leave. But those who can or even thought about it,
because
hopefully
I'm gonna tell you,
hopefully show you some
a lot of the passport pookies should not be passport pookies.
Yeah,
and they get off the plane, especially in DR, they should not be getting off that plane.
Right. Because now they coming to Colombia a lot too now.
Oh man, listen.
Those pookies. I seen one fool on Facebook throwing pesos. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? They don't do that.
In Cartagena.
He's throwing it up in the air like he's something. And then when you come back to the States, you flipping damn pizza. Come on, man, stop it.
Hey, I'm telling you something. Here in Colombia, they just recently put more police officers in that region of Cartagena now. They have that clock tower.
Yeah.
Because President Biden was here last week.
Right.
And they cleaned all that up. All that got cleaned up. They were like, y'all not about to be up here acting the fool. And in 2012, when Obama came, his security, this was a big scandal here in Colombia. His security got caught messing with the ladies of the night, paying for the ladies of the night.
Hold on, who is this?
Obama's in 2012. It was a big scandal, dude. You can look it up. Obama security. When you get a chance, Google it. Obama security and women in Cartagena, or getting caught in Obama security getting caught in 11 dudes.
Wow.
Messing with mangoes.
Yeah, messing with the mangoes. Y'all call them y'all call them what, pros or something? What's the word y'all use in Colombia? Yeah, and here we call them, and in Dominican we call them chapeadoras, something like that.
Yeah, the pros, professionals.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm gonna look it up. I'm definitely gonna look it up, man.
Yeah, so man, it was. I mean, you'll find a bunch of articles on it. It was a big scandal. Just Google Cartagena, Obama, security, and anything has to do with the ladies of the night, and all these articles will pop up of when it happened in 2012, 2013.
Gotcha.
And so when Biden came last month, and that's why they were like, we have to clean all this up, because we're not about to have what happened in 2012 happen with President Biden. And Biden came on that trip in 2012. This is his second time in Colombia.
That's crazy. So yeah, man. So again, I want to thank you, man, for giving me blessing me with your time. I want to thank your supporters for coming on board, man, supporting me. I appreciate it. Thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you all. So any words, we always try to leave with a word of wisdom on this platform, something, any kind of token that you want to leave, say before we end it.
Oh yeah. You get one life, one time, one chance. There is no extra life you got in the shoebox in the closet. None of us do. Ladies, you can't reach in your purse and find another life, and you can start from scratch. You get one life. So while you're spending all that time arguing and fussing and dealing with all those ups and downs of the life that you have in the States, you may have been born to migrate. Our ancestors were. Our grandparents migrated from the north, from the south to the north. That's how we got Detroit and Chicago and all these black people up in New York and so forth, because they migrated from the south to the north. We have been the people that have always migrated and became better because of it. You might be a part of that migration, or need to be a part of the migration that are using the passports now. Black people learning new languages, learning new cultures. This is stuff that we would have never learned in books. So as I mentioned before, if you're on the cusp of thinking about relocating to another country, just try it for a couple of months. Try it for a month or a couple of weeks to see if that country or that experience is for you. And if it is,
at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Minimum.
And start making those preparations. Yeah, at minimum.
Right. But I think you need to plan too. I would say plan at least about 5 years out.
Easy. I did 3 years. Mine was 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a hermit in the States.
The Spanish teacher, before I thought we was gonna close out, but we are gonna close out. But I'm gonna give his last question. He want to know the cost of living versus Dominican Republic. So I guess you can say what cost there, huh?
Good idea. Compared to the US dollar, let's
compared
say,
to the Dominican Republic.
Oh, compared to DR is more expensive.
Yeah, there you go. He said DR is more expensive.
Yeah, DR is way more expensive. Now I can't say way. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is, because here in Cali, even when Andre and I were there, we were like, man, we bleed money out here. We probably spent on our trip maybe 4,000, 5,000 on our trip that month in DR. That would have never happened in Colombia. You are not going to spend, and we live in a nice area, and me and Andrea eat good. And there is no way in the world you're going to spend 5,000 even traveling throughout Colombia, and it's larger than DR. But some of the but we were, as tourists and as YouTubers, purposely going to some of the fancier restaurants to showcase these locations. Like we went to the restaurant in Santo Domingo that was in the cave, the underground restaurant. We did that one. So it's of course. So this was a lot more. We went to Camp David in Santo Domingo. I mean Santiago. So we know Camp David is more expensive. So we already knew that a lot of places that we went to, it would cost more. Our Airbnbs were in places where there would be 3 mansions next to it. So we understand that our expenses were a lot more than the average person.
Your total expenses were about 4,000?
Yeah, about 4,000.
Okay.
For the month.
Okay. For the month.
But in Colombia, it wouldn't have cost that much.
Could probably have.
Maybe easy for a month in Colombia with the travel, it probably would have cost maybe 2,500 to maybe 3,000, and that's a maybe to it.
Gotcha.
Because Colombia is think about the dollar is 4 to 1, almost 4 to 1 in Colombia.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I definitely want to go and visit there one day because I'm thinking about I don't know. I'm still considering, should I get braces or just should I get the veneers? I don't know.
Me personally, I would do the veneers.
Yeah,
braces,
but if I do them, I'm gonna have to go out there.
And then with braces, if your teeth start sliding again, then you got to put the braces back on again.
Right. So I might have to
you get whatever level of color you want. That's another thing.
So you give me some recommendations, because I remember you went to. I remember that. See, I remember
I got my teeth.
Yeah.
Andre got hers done. We got ours.
Yeah. So and what's that? Well, we'll talk after the show. Yeah. But man, thank you again. I just had to give Let's Learn Spanish TV had one that last question. That was his last question, comparing the prices.
Yeah, that was a good question.
You answered that. And like Andre said, man, you only live once. You don't get a sequel. And I'm going to end on this note: is the most precious thing we have on this earth is our time. You can lose money and gain money, but you cannot. If you lose time, you can't gain time back. It's a done deal.
That's it.
On that note, we out.
We out. You got the outgoing music too? Yeah.